So here we are at Birdustrial. We're trying to cast this black water from the Tusken Raiders. So we want to try to minimize the amount of material that we lose. So we need to find the exact volume of this. And in the spirit of Sir Isaac Newton, we are going to submerge this in water and measure so that we use the least amount of resin to copy this. So we filled this inner bowl with water all the way to the top. All right, and when we submerge this, it'll displace water into the larger bowl, and we measure that, and that should be the ounces we need for this. We hope.
Measure. Science.
All right. So just displace that much water. We need a paper towel.
Just put it right on
All right. So that should be.
So we also, to set the scale.
Oh, gotta turn it on.
Okay. So what that does is that negates the weight of the actual cup.
I spilt a little bit. 14.5 ounces. So with a little bit of spillage, 15 to 16 ounces. So I would say we need about 16 ounces of material to cast or to mold to cast that black water Tusken Raiders,
Which we have over here all set and ready to go. So unlike Dave, I eyeball everything. I have a good sense of what we need. So I said right off the bat that we're going to need about that much, about half of this cup. And when I say cup, I'm not talking like an actual measurement cup. And the solo cups we use, or these plastic cups we use, are different pretty much every time because we just get them at the dollar store or Walmart or Target or whatever we happen to be at the time when we run out. So I think this latest batch came from BJ's probably in a big giant pack. So once you mix this stuff, you can't reuse whatever you're mixing it in because it hardens. So I don't like to use the nice tubs that we use to mix the blue stuff because this peels right off. So I don't want to mix too much and not have enough to go in the cup and make a mess. So I have two sets here, but realistically, I'm saying we're only going to need about this much. So just for sake of purposes, I'm going to say we're only going to need this much equal parts. So how do we do this, Dave? If we take this, right, and let's take an empty cup. All right, so we're going to tear that. So now we would need two of those, which is 16.2, which is
12.4.
12.4. So that's very close to what we need by eyeballing.
You eyeballed 12. I'm saying 15.
Right. But I'm saying is that without using science, I'm pretty much right on the money.
You'd be short.
Well, that's why I have. So if you notice.
Now we're going to actually mold it.
Yeah.
Or cast it.
If you notice, I always have. We lost a little in the, along the edges. So I always have more than enough, and then I always have extra molds of things that we need, so that when I pour it in, whatever's left over doesn't get wasted, because we're always making something.
Right.
So let's go ahead and mold these.
This is known as the moment of truth.
Gotta say, I was pretty much on the money.
A little short, just like a stormtrooper.
So what do we want to do? We want to use a little bit of color too, right?
Oh, color.
or do we want to use aluminum? What color are the?
Oh, good question. What color are they?
Gray.
Yeah, I think they're grayish color. Black water, right? So
But the
black.
melon itself, I forgot to look and see.
I forgot to look and see too.
But it's nice to always kind of start with a little bit of a grayish tinge. So what we're going to do, since I'm not making it black, I'm just putting a little bit of color in there. If you do nothing, it's going to come out pure white. If you do a lot of black, you can make it, you know, actual black. Then we obviously have all different other colors that we've used to make different props. Always clean up your containers best you can. All right, let's mix. So like I said, I don't think we have enough space in one cup. Well, so what you're saying, it'd be like 15 ounces, which these cups are probably like 12 ounces, right?
We'd have to look at the package.
So that's why I knew we wouldn't have enough to pour equal parts
For precision.
in. So you mix this up a little bit. But hold on, Bob. I also don't want to. This is moderately fast curing resin. So you have about 3 minutes before it starts hardening. So you can see that even with the mixing sticks, I don't want to mix them up together until I'm ready. All right, so we'll do part A, part B. I like to use clear cups because you can see how much you get out, because you want to try to get like every little bit out. So from here, I got about 3 minutes before it starts to harden, which is more than enough time. But if I use that same stick to mix that batch, by the time I got to it, it'd be starting to react a little bit. All right. So let's go ahead and pour. Let's see it come in this way. You can hear it filling up. Okay. So you quickly see, I don't see any leaks coming out, which is good. So now we're going to mix the second cup. So I'm going to say we needed about half of this cup. And I can kind of see in. can see it, it's almost right at the top. There it is. So that's pretty much at the top. And you see, had about that much left over. This is a pretty straightforward mold. There's not any other things that shoot out and about, so you don't got to worry too much about jiggling. So for here, we'll take our leftover and let's see, we have just enough for that. And how about a coin? Make a Mando coin. Maybe a second Mando coin. Look at that. See? So my eyeball always adds on a little bit of extra thing. So now if you watch for a second, this is already starting to harden. When you have these molds, you try to make sure your table is level too. Especially for ones like this. Like this is up because there's a glass plate underneath. So if I poured into this one, it would be all screwed up, but this part's fine. All right. So now if you watch, good. So see here, see it's starting to harden. So you watch as that starts to harden, it'll kind of crystallize into white. And then from there, it's like 20 minutes before it'll harden enough to pull out. But we usually leave it in for about 30, 40 minutes just to really make sure it's good. And that's that. So who won, science or eyeballing? I say eyeballing.
Of course you do.
It is nice to know that you can use science and math to figure out exactly how much. So we don't have to waste next time. So maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll switch to Dave's method once in a while. Until then, thanks. Thanks for watching. And the unmolding of what you saw before. Simple ice tray type molds. Pull them out. A little bit of flash, a little bit of cleanup. Super easy to do. This door panel greebly, which we're using on our credit cases, comes out super nice and sharp. But the big question, how did we do on this one? Measuring versus science. So with the 2-part mold, obviously it went in the pour spout. And you just take it out. And look at that. Beautiful. Came out nice. Very nice. So we're just going to snip that off and then clean it up a little bit. And we have a few more things we're going to try to do with this to make it into a really cool prop. So far so good.